channel of your praise. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith.
Hi, I'm Emalani Castorena, and this is Visions of Inspiration. Well, we've got some really good information to give you today, and it's so awesome, and there's so much to share with you, and your life can change so drastically. I've got two wonderful people in here. On my left is Nate. Nate, how do you say your last name?
Batoon.
Batoon. And he's a feng shui master, and my goodness, you're so awesome. He did my house awesome. Got me sick a little bit, but no. No, I'm kidding. It's awesome. My whole life is changing so drastically. And on the other side is Emalani. Now, Emalani is psychic, a medium, a healer. What else? What did I forget?
A mother. A woman.
Okay. A woman, okay. And she's got a lot to share. So together, we're going to make it happen. We're going to be able to give you information that will help you to be able to get your life back in order if it's not, or be able to help you and share some information. Again, if you want to use the tools that we're here to offer you, then you're welcome to use them. If you choose not to, then that's up to you. Okay, so Nate, I'm going to start with you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. So, Nate, on say for instance, I'm afraid of who I am. I'm not, I'm afraid of hurting people's feelings, and I don't express myself real well. Now, how are you going to help me if you feng shui my house? How's that going to help me?
Well, there's different areas of life that pertain to different, areas. For example, immediately what came to mind for yourself, that would be the fame area. Because that's where it's the self-esteem area. That's the area for respect. That's the area for courage as well. But I just, when I go into a home, as you know, I just don't do one area.
Right.
Because like in acupuncture, you could have an injury here in the shoulder or pain here, but you go either downstream or upstream where the blockages may be.
Yeah.
So I do a holistic form of feng shui in which we do all 9 areas of life. And so, but briefly, for that question you had, put something red in the fame area of your home or in your room. And the way you find where that is when you enter into a room. The opposite wall, in the center of the opposite wall, that's the fame area section. So decorated with a little bit of red. Could be red roses, a red vase,
burgundy?
etc. Burgundy is fine too.
Okay.
And so what that does, it brings in an energy to help support you with having more courage, more self-esteem, respect. And when you walk in these areas of life, for example, if you were to stand there, it could be a room in which you're doing some work. And so if you're there in the fame section, you're in that energy field. So it helps with your energy field, and that field of the fame and respect is influencing your, what some people call the aura. So when you do go out into the world, they start feeling this, and therefore they show you a little bit more respect as such.
Well, I want to tell you that it has worked a lot in many ways for me. That you went and feng shuied my house. It's given me a big, I don't know, it's just this feeling of like you said, feeling more determined to do what you need to do in your life, feeling better about yourself, and more than anything, feeling really comfortable and relaxed. And I thought that was really neat.
Well, when you have confidence, there's more of a relaxed attitude. See? And sitting here at this table, you're sitting in the fame section, and you're wearing red. So, and you have the trees behind you, green, which helps support that. See?
Good.
So that's what I would do for you as far as feng shui goes.
Wonderful. Okay, Emalani. Now, on your side, being the medium, being the psychic, and the healer, how would you work at that?
Well, I got to experience
yourself.
Nate's energy, and I wanted to share how much it impacted my life, even though I was not his client, but I was at a place where he was doing his work, and it changed a huge amount of energy for me, a fantastic amount of energy, almost to the point where it opened doors to miracles that I've been waiting for quite a while.
Wow.
And when he entered, I could feel him. As a psychic, you get sensitive to energy, but his energy was so strong that you could feel sort of like a wind that came in with him, right? And then weeks later, I ended up starting to realize things about myself and energy that needed to change within my own thought process, how I felt about myself, how I felt about other people I was working with, what my true wishes were. And when I looked at myself, and it was amazing actually to see, we go along life and we think we're just okay, and then some new energy comes by and opens up windows into our soul and really showed me some things. And since then, when I decided to look at them and look at myself, everything has changed for me. Where I live, where I'm living, actually opening my own place.
Who you've met or who you're involved with?
Who I've met, who I'm involved with. Very loving people came into my life right away.
Wow.
A really band of women that are powerful, have confidence, have done a lot of things and helping me along the way, and we're bringing other people in to help each other, and just a whole nother level of existence that I knew was there because I had written it on paper, right? But I didn't know it was available to me yet. And so when Nate did feng shui, it actually moved my energy somehow so that I could see what was in my way to getting those things. The minute I said yes, it started to evolve and really roll like a real huge tidal wave. It was very wonderful. So I thank you for that. I hadn't been able to see you since then, and it was wonderful. And it's still wonderful. It's just starting and evolving and growing.
Oh, you're on your way to the next level then.
Yeah, and what it did was it showed me my authentic self. It did. I was not seeing myself in a correct manner. For myself as a psychic medium, I really feel like I'm a servant of God. So that's my way of my path. And I feel like if I ask God, what is it that you want to do through me, or co-create together, sometimes I will hear things and I'll think, not me. I'm not able to do that, right? I don't feel confident enough to do that, but when Nate changed the energy in the place I was working, all of a sudden the confidence came and my own sense of self came. So it was very interesting. It's so profound. It can be so profound, so life-changing. It was amazing.
Wow. So for you in your type of work that you do, how do you help empower people?
Well, that's what I've been teaching all along. In my classes, I introduce psychic development, psychic powers. I feel like we all have them, but always as a pathway to God, to knowing ourselves, to knowing our spirit. And if people don't call God, I allow them whatever they want to call universe, spirit. But I definitely, through their development of their own gifts, I try to blend that with knowing themselves, knowing their own spirit, see who they really are, so that they can live authentically on the earth. I believe that if we tap into the energy of the universe and say, what would you like to do through me? Create through me, right? Not what can I get from you, but create through me, that you become very happy. And the universe knows exactly what you love, what's your best gifts, and your life becomes very enlightened and very happy and authentic. Sometimes it's not that easy. You do need to look at some things and let go of baggage, or what we call baggage, or people and all kinds of things sometimes. And some people don't have to, but my path has definitely been one of really human experience in the beginning of my life, and really a letting go, definitely, of that. And probably so I could understand other people, whatever they're going through. But
That's great.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you go to healers or you go to feng shui masters and you think, nothing could go wrong with them. And I always remember the story about a friend of yours, his daughter that's driving down the freeway and your car broke down. And she thought it was you. She thought it was him, but she thought, how could it be? He's a feng shui master. How could anything like that happen to him? So she passed him by.
Well, he definitely wasn't plunked down by the aliens,
But it's interesting because, you see people that have these gifts or whatever you would call them, and you think they're like invincible, like everything's going perfect for them in their lives,
No, it's a constant evolution. It's a constant looking inward and letting go, and that's what we're here for. We're here to experience the universe, right? The world that we're in, and then return to a perfect state. So what we do is we find out, we're remembering, oh yeah, I am okay there. Okay, here, this is illusion, and here I am, even more than we could ever imagine as having a human experience, but just a gigantic, very love affair with God and with the universe and with each other. And that's one most important thing, is that with each other, we can help each other, and then it pours out and ripples out from us.
Yeah, that's true. Now, working in a DUI school as a facilitator, I can acknowledge and see more of things that I need to work on, especially when I get healings and get help to get me further to do God's work, because that's what I feel that I'm doing, is God's work. And I think for us is we can see the things that we need to improve, where other people are not there,
Right.
and it makes it a little more difficult, because it's like, to me, it's like, oh man, back to the drawing board, one more time. But I feel that we get closer and closer. I feel like, for me, I get closer and closer to where I need to be in my life. Might not ever achieve it in my lifetime, but the feeling of that peace and that feeling of the serenity is pretty awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as that story that you mentioned about me getting stuck on the freeway.
That was you, right?
Yeah, that was me. Of course, we all know we're not perfect, and we're striving each time. However, which was pretty funny when she said she didn't think it was me, because how could anything happen to me?
Yeah.
But things do happen in life, and there are certain challenges we must face in order to grow. And some of these challenges are not pleasant, but it can be very negative, but a lot of times that's the only way we learn. Yeah. However, I will say, though, whenever I've had situations like that, especially when I got stalled on the freeway, it was right there with the call box right there. See, so it wasn't all that bad. So, and another time when my fan belt broke, it was in heavy traffic in LA, but it snapped just as there was a service station right there. So I could go in. So
Right.
that was my fault for not preparing and having it checked out more often. But things will happen, and it's not like feng shui guy comes over and you live happily ever after. What happens is we will weather the storm. We will have storms.
Right.
If you're a sailor, you go out to sea, there will be storms. But if you're going out in a canoe as opposed to an ocean liner, you're going to be tossed around a little bit more. So there's all these different tools that we have that can help us weather the storm, because we have to go through things. That's why we're here on this planet. And I just want to also mention that everyone does feng shui, because if you have a plant and you place something in your home, you're affecting the space. It's just, again, I believe you had another guest on Qigong, just if you just know the system, then it can really help you out.
Yeah.
But with respect to your space and being who you are, I see where people don't really think about decorating, especially when they move into an office.
Right.
They need to claim that space and express who they are into that space, and it tells the people around them, and it tells their office that I'm here to stay, and I'm here to stay for a long time and do a really good job. A lot of times people just come in and they don't place anything in there of their own to claim it. It's just like coming over the mountaintop and you see a valley, and it says that's where I'm gonna, build my home and things. And so you establish, that's Farmer John's place, and this is how it looks. And that's what you should really be doing in your space, to reflect into your space who you are. Too many people have interior decorators that tell them what to do.
You're right, that's true.
You really should tell them what you want, work with them.
Yeah.
And the type of decoration. That's why I don't interior decorate. I just let them decorate to express who they are. Then we just power it up.
Well, see, I like that because, you could have something fixed up and you really like the way it looks, and then, here comes some different feng shui masters that believe different ways, and so, you got to move this here, and you got to do this here, and da-da-da-da, and all of a sudden, your place isn't the way you thought you wanted it to be. But you don't do that. You go in there and you adjust it in some way. And feng shui means adjusting the energy?
Well, it's harmony and balance, and powering up with more energy into the home so it can help you. Yeah.
Can I ask a question
Sure.
regarding that? So say you have a bedroom, and it's a master bedroom, and the door you walk through goes directly to a sliding window. And this window particularly has a big mountain as a background. But do you do that type of feng shui where does the energy leave the window? Do you have to, because that would be your fame that you're looking at, or your confidence?
Is this a window or sliding glass door?
A sliding glass door.
Okay, yeah, there's a difference between windows and doors.
Uh-huh.
If your door coming into your room lines up directly with that door on the opposite side, more of the chi is going directly out that door. It's just like a visitor coming in, especially if you have a really nice view. They walk in, instead of looking around the room, they go right through that door to look outside.
Right.
So the chi goes right out as such, most of it. So you need to slow that down and channel it around your room, because that's where the energy patterns are, different areas of life. So it's very simple. You don't have to destroy a wall and move that door over, which people have spent thousands of dollars in doing. That's not practical. There's different ways to slow the chi down and to divert it, so you don't have to have the expense of moving that door.
Right. So a house that has a lot of windows, say it's a view house that has a lot of windows, you would want to redirect the energy.
Well, the chi is not going to flow out the windows. It's programmed to go outdoors primarily.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So no, you're going to have beautiful windows.
Yeah,
there's one of my clients. They're building a home up in by the Rocky Mountains, and you need to take advantage of that. So they have a lot of windows.
Right.
Say, but it's not going out the window. It's going outdoors.
Oh, got it. Interesting. Very interesting. Very nice.
Okay. Well, we've got a question from the audience. What about where do you put your office desk in your business? Where do you put it?
Okay. There's a textbook. There's a textbook way to do things. And if you want the textbook way, that would be, as you walk in, it would be the opposite wall in what we call the fame section primarily, and especially if there's a solid wall there. However, when I did this, I can't mention the facility. It's a major association. They tried to put the director, his desk in the fame section, and it wouldn't work there. It was in the creative section, which a lot of times the textbook or people would say that's a weak part. But you see, that wasn't weak because the business was of creativity. It was for writing. So he was in a power position there. And in fact, that's the way it's set up. That's how he set it up initially. And he really resisted moving into the fame section or to the wealth section. That would not have worked. So as a textbook and general answer, that would be in the fame position or where you have a solid wall behind you. But every situation can be different. So, for example, if this was a family counseling or a psychiatrist, the desk could be in the family section of the office. See,
Oh, interesting.
but usually it's in a position where you're facing the door. As you sit behind the desk, you're looking at who comes in. However, again, there are many situations, especially if you have a cubicle, there's no way you're going to face the door, okay? And sometimes if you're to move your desk to face the door, you cut off a lot of workspace. Our feng shui says practicality is primary along with everything else, and it has to do with the workflow. So if you just set up according to what the textbook says, and you're looking at it, and you can't function in there because it's blocking everything, that's not feng shui.
Oh.
That's book knowledge, and it's not. It doesn't work in the practical things of life. It's like street sense. You know what I'm saying?
Like nature sense, logic.
Logic,
Nature is logical. Yeah.
Huh.
I can see that now.
So to answer the question, it's usually on the opposite wall in the family section, but it all depends.
Oh.
And the way you figure it out is first you set up your desk according to how your workflow, how you feel, and then sit down behind it, see how comfortable you feel, and see if you're in control, especially if you can turn the desk so that you're facing the door. If not, if you have to have it up against the wall and your back is to the door, there's other things we can do for that. But if that's the only way you can do it because of whatever work you're doing, then you have to do it that way. Then you adjust. That's where we come in with our adjustments.
That's interesting.
That is very interesting,
Wow.
isn't it? The flow of energy is so interesting.
Well, a lot of people don't know that feng shui is a flowing of energy, right? And a lot of people don't know that. It's interesting that that they become knowledgeable because it can be so beneficial for them in their lives and what it is that they want to become or do or whatever, like the change that it's done for you.
Right,
Wow.
right.
That's a lot of
Amazing
stuff.
changes. A lot of stuff really
Yeah.
quickly. Very quickly.
Yeah.
And really exciting stuff. Just so exciting. I knew I wanted those things, but to get over the hump to be able to accept them was what he did. And that it just put a mirror to my face and asked me to look at me and see what I needed to accept about myself.
Yeah. Well, I think on your part and what you do has helped a lot of people too, because sometimes people come to you and they're unsure, and maybe their life is just a mess, and they're wanting to change their life. You're able to give them the opportunity, or you're able to see through that and say, okay, well,
Right.
this is going to work for you, or this isn't, or maybe they have someone that that passed and they've never had closure. I know you say closure. I say closure because you need to cut it off. You need to say, okay, well, this is a done deal. I forgive them, or they've forgiven me, or whatever, and move on.
Right.
And you're able to do that.
It's sort of changing the energy flow of their thoughts or their emotions is what I do also, or helping
You do
them.
feng shui too, huh?
Yes, in a different manner. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Same thing with Qigong. It's all the same. It's just redirecting the flow, showing the blocks, helping them to get rid of them, or to redirect around them, or whatever is possible for the client at the time. Definitely. What Nate did opened up a whole new realm, like just such a larger realm for me to be able to help people, more people.
Wow.
Just a tremendous, I want to say it was like a tsunami, just really.
That's big.
Because things really stopped for me and really was slow at the time that he came in. And I thought, what's going on? I know that. And another thing is, everyone on every level needs a teacher to come in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be the best master in the world. You still have a human aspect of yourself that you can find some of that trust, that you trust. Or like someone asked me once, who prays for you, right? Right? You need someone who will come in. And he came in for another purpose, but it definitely served me hugely. And I can't think of enough. It's amazing.
Yeah.
My dream. I had a little fortune cookie that's been paper that's been in my purse for
What
I don't
did
know
it
how long, and it said, I finally got it out the other day. It said, your dream is finally coming true.
All right.
Right? You know?
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah. So that he just redirected. Really, what he did for me was put mirrors up to my face. So, yeah. Made me
So
look
all
at
the other
myself.
times you were covering the mirrors?
You know, throughout my whole history of being psychic and a medium, I've always been looking. You have to, because the more you release, the more flow comes through. The clearer psychic I am, the better medium I am, the better healing energy can flow through me. So I've known that from the beginning of my career, that I had to move things. I had to look at myself. And I can't sit and have a client come to me and say, what's wrong with me, if I don't look at myself.
Yeah, I
Right?
believe that.
And each person is usually a little wink at yourself, you know?
Yeah, that's what I hear. Sometimes when somebody confronts me or I run into somebody that I'm not too crazy about, I'm thinking, okay, what is it about me that I have to look at myself that this person came into my life?
Right.
You know?
There's a Hawaiian, I can't pronounce it correctly. Ho'oponopono?
Ho'oponopono.
Right, and that's just what it says. I created you. Thank you, I love you, I created you. So we bring in the energy to look at us, for us to look at ourselves, and them also. It's a two-way street, you know. And that acknowledgement of I brought you in as my teacher, and I love you, and I forgive myself, or I forgive you, releases what we need to release.
Yeah. Emalani, thank
I
you
love you.
so much. I love
You're
you
welcome.
too. Nate, thank you so much. And I love you too. Hands are cold.
Warm heart.
Right.
You got it. Okay. This is Visions of Inspiration. I hope you picked up some things, and I hope you give us a call. There's phone numbers at the end, and God bless all of you, and God bless our troops, and take care. Bye-bye.
There is injury or pardon, Lord, and where there's start true faith in you, make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. There is darkness, only light, and where there's sadness,